Question 5. In a quiz, a team gains 10 points for every question it answers correctly and loses 5 points for every question it does not answer correctly. The probability of answering a question correctly is 0.6 for each question. One round of the quiz consists of 3 questions. The discrete random variable x represents the total number of points scored in one round. The table shows the incomplete probability distribution of x. So notice that it says that the discrete random variable x represents the total number of points scored in one round, and it told you earlier that one round consists of 3 questions, and that for each of those questions there's a probability of 0.6 of getting it right. And now part A says, show that the probability of scoring 15 points in a round is 0.432. So in a round, we answer 3 questions. And so we have to think, well, what could happen on those 3 questions so that the overall score would be 15? So you could get the first question correct. Now you'd have 10 points. The second question correct. Now you have 20 points. And then you could get the third question not correct, and you would lose 5 points. And so in total, you would have 15 points. And now, of course, that could happen in any order. Maybe you get question 1 right, and it's the second one that you get wrong. Or maybe it's the first one that you get wrong, and the second 2 that you get right. In all of those circumstances, you're scoring -5 once and +10 twice, making an overall score of 15. Is there any other way that you could score 15 points altogether? No. If you get them all right, you will end up scoring 30 points, which is here. And if you get 1 right, 10, and then 2 wrong, -5, -5, you'd get 0. And if you got them all wrong, -5, -5, -5, you'd get -15 altogether in that round. So this is why these particular values of x, 30, 15, 0 and -15 show the 4 different overall scores you could have at the end of one round, and this section records the probability of each of those things happening. So we're trying to work this one out, the probability of scoring 15 points. So that is the probability of this happening, or this happening, or this happening. So let's go to the top one. The probability of this happening is 0.6 times 0.6, so getting the first question correct and then getting the second question correct and then getting the third question wrong. Now, this one will be a variation of that probability, but with the one that you get wrong coming in the middle, so the 0.4 would be in the middle there, but you'd still get the same answer from the multiplication. And for this one, getting the first one wrong, 0.4, and then 0.6, and then 0.6 is the same again, but with the 0.4 appearing in a different place. So what I'm saying is that you need this probability 3 times, and because we're interested in this happening, or this happening, or this happening, this number needs to be added together 3 times, or more simply, we can just multiply by 3. And if we put this into our calculators, 3 lots of 0.6 times 0.6 times 0.4, we get the correct answer of 0.432. Part B. So I'm going to write this one into here now, actually. Part B says, find the probability of scoring 0 points in a round. So we could do a calculation like this again, but it's only worth 1 point. We know that this table covers all the options, and we know that probabilities have to add up to 1. So the quickest thing to do will be 1 take away the other probabilities. Let's try that again. .288. Okay, part C. Find the probability of scoring a total of 30 points in 2 rounds. Okay, so now we really want to work with this information. We know that these are the possibilities for what could happen in round 1. And maybe if I drew it in a tree to help imagine it. So in round 1, you could score 30 or 15 points or 0 points or negative 15 points. But now they're saying after that you play another round. Now what could happen there? Well, again, any of these things could happen. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 things could happen, 1, 2, 3, 4 things could happen, or 1, 2, 3, 4 things could happen. And the 30, 15, 0 and negative 15 would appear again against each of these. And the question's asking, find the probability of scoring a total of 30 points in the 2 rounds. Well, the only way that you're going to score 30 points in 2 rounds, well, there's 3 things that could happen. You could score, let's have a look, round 1, round 2. You could score 30 points in the first round, then you wouldn't need to score anything in round 2. If you score 15 points in the first round, you'd need to score 15 points in the second. If you score no points in round 1, you'd need to score 30 points in round 2 to score a 30-point total. And if you score negative 15, it does not matter what you do, even if you score 30, the best you will have now is plus 15 points. So it's impossible to score 30 that way. So now we just have to work out the probabilities of these things happening. So when you're looking for the probability of scoring 30 and then going on to score 0, you multiply probabilities when you're looking for the probability of one thing and another thing happening. So to find out the probability of scoring 30 in round 1 and then 30 in round 2, we do the probability of scoring 30, which is 0.216, multiplied by 30 in round 1 and then 0 in round 2. So that's the probability of scoring 30 and then the probability of scoring 0, which we actually worked out to be 0.288. I just realised that went off screen. Okay, now next up we need to think about, well, maybe this one. What's the probability of scoring 0 and then 30? Would be this but backwards. It won't make any difference to the answer though. So the numbers will come out the same. And finally, you could score 15 and then 15. And the probability of scoring a 15 is 0.432. And then you would need to score that again the second time. And we're interested in any of these happening. So it's this or this or this. And if it's or, we need to add. So the final solution will be coming from adding these together. So let's do that now. That's a 0.216 times 0.288, which we will need twice. And on top of that, we will need a 0.432 times itself. And that makes a total of 0.31104. And we can give that to 3 significant figures, as so. Okay, then part D says work out the expected value of x. That's a routine calculation. We don't really need any of that. We go back to this table. The expected value of x is given by thinking that 30 happens with a weighting of 0.216, just over 20% of the time. 15 happens just over 40% of the time. 0 happens almost 30% of the time, although that will come out of 0. And run out of space so I can work here. Negative 15 happens hardly ever. And so we just need to put all that in a calculator. and we get 12. Okay, now part E says find the variance of x. Again, this one is a routine calculation. The variance of x is given by the expected value of x squared minus the expected value of x all squared. So we already know the expected value of x is 12, so we will just need to square that, so that's easy. So this is the tricky part. We need to work out the expected value of x squared. Now that's done by thinking about the value of x squared, so that's 30 squared, which will be 900, but it's still attached to the same weighting. These probabilities can't change, they need to add up to 1. It's just that we're interested in the average of the squared data, not the average of the original data. So when the 30 squared, it still gets multiplied by 0.216. When the 15 is squared, it still gets multiplied by 432. When the 0 gets squared, it still gets multiplied by 0.288, but 0 squared is 0, so actually just like this term doesn't do anything, neither there'll be a 0 term here that doesn't do anything. But then the negative 15, and be careful here, the negative 15 is being squared, that gets multiplied by 0.064. So here the negative 15 did stay negative in its effect, but this one will go positive, and that's important. A lot of people made a mistake on that. So now we can type that up. This will be 900 times 0.216 plus 225 times 0.432 plus nothing, plus again negative 15 squared is also 225 times 0.064, giving 306. And now we can use that to find the variance of x by taking 306 and subtracting 12 squared, or in other words, subtracting 144, giving the answer 162. Okay, then it says, in a bonus round of 3 questions, so three extra questions, a team gains 20 points now for every question it answers correctly, and loses 5 points for every question it does not answer correctly. And now we have to find the expected number of points in the bonus round. So what's happened now is that the outcomes have changed. So I'm going to call this new variable, like the outcomes in the bonus round, let's call them y. So now, if you get all 3 questions right, you'll get actually 60 points. But the probabilities of doing that haven't changed. So the probability of this new thing y, taking this particular value y, is still 0.216. Okay, what else could happen? Well, instead of getting all 3 right, you could get 2 right, which would be 40 points, and then get 1 wrong. So now you'd have only 35 points. And that would be equivalent to these 15 previously. But the chances of getting things right or wrong hasn't changed, just only the amount of points that you get. So the probabilities don't change, but the score does. So this was getting 3 right and none wrong. This was getting 2 right and 1 wrong. So what about if we got only 1 right? So we would score 20 points for that. And then 2 wrong, lose 5 points for each of those. So 20 take away 10 is 10. And that goes with this probability of 0.288. And finally, what if you got them all wrong? Well, that's still negative 15. Minus 5 3 times. And again, the probability has not changed. So now we just need to work out the expected value of these, which is this time 60 times 0.216 and 35 times 0.432 and 10 times 0.288 and negative 15 times 0.064. Of course, you must not write in that margin. And then I just type that into the calculator. And we're expecting the average score to come out higher now. The expected score, because you get 20 points for a question right, where as previously you only used to get 10. now is 30 rather than the previous 12.